Let's work on it. Which one? Let's do this one. Morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on the 1981 Volkswagen Rabbit, changing out the ignition switch. So stay tuned, follow along. Well, let's go ahead and get this off. I already had disconnected the wire at an earlier time. We're going to go ahead and take these out, and we're going to change the ignition switch so I can put the new one in where I have a matching key to all the doors. All right, there we go. So that nut in there is a 15/16 that I've seen. It may be a metric, but I got a 15/16. Hit it with the impact right off. So we're gonna take it the rest of the way off and try to get the steering wheel out. It may just be me, but I just made a mark on there to kind of line everything up. So whenever I put it back in, they'll, for the most part, be lined up. I don't know if it makes a difference, but hey, it doesn't hurt. So we've got the steering wheel removed. If you want to do the ignition switch now, you'll have to have a Phillips head screwdriver, and you're going to want to take out, starting with those two Phillips head screws. After you got those two Phillips head, you can reach back here and pull down. Be real careful because this is plastic, so it's going to it'll break if you pull too hard. Just be gentle. There's some clips in there, and you just want to pull them down, and it comes right off. With the steering wheel removed, your bottom section is gone. You'll have a connector here and a connector here, and you just want to wiggle those and get them to come loose on both sides, and then just let them hang below the steering wheel. Your steering wheel removed, everything's done. You got these three flathead screws right here. Take your flathead, take them out. Then what you'll do is grab this section, and you want to easily slide it out, because once it comes out where you can clear the shaft, there's an electric connector right here. You take that off, and then you'll be able to set this to the side. With when you disconnect this, you're able to put this over to the side. What I've come to realize is, I've still got my dash in. Most of the videos that I've watched, everybody's got their dash out. And yes, I'll eventually take this dash out. But right now, I'm just simply putting ignition in and I'm wanting to get it running without having to go into the hood hot wire. I want to just kind of see what my electrical and everything looks like. So what I've realized also is if you still have your dash in, this is a 81 model, you go right behind your ignition and unplug. And then in order to kind of help get this off, because I make it a little bit easier, I'll go in and I'll take out the two 13mm bolts that hold the column up, which should, and I'm thinking, I'm new to this, it should allow me to have a little bit of play to drop this down in order to get this plastic piece out so I can continue on with taking the ignition switch out. So what I did was I took the two 13mm right behind the column. I took them completely out. There's two of them. And then back here, there's another two that that hold it up. And I loosen those almost all the way out. Just barely have them in there. And that allows me to have enough room, with the dash on, of course, to be able to give me room to where I can push down and remove the plastic trim piece, set it aside, and now that gives me access to my whole ignition switch assembly. Get you a pair of channel locks. It's rubber, this plastic bushing. Just want to start spinning it, getting it loose, and she comes right off. And then you should be able to wiggle this, and I'm going to put the camera down and I'll get it off and I'll show you. Nothing is as easy as you see someone else do it, because 9 times out of 10 they've probably pulled it off a few times, and maybe that's what I should be doing. But this right here, 2 hands, you want to just kind of work it back and forth, side to side as you're sliding it off, and eventually it will let loose, come off, and that's what you got. Now, I'm not replacing the ignition switch. I've actually got a whole new ignition switch assembly with the key, and I've got matching door handles that this key goes to. So I'm going to switch out door handles next, but they're not as pressing. But whenever you get done, you get to this point, if you're going to change your ignition switch, you'll take out that Phillips head screw right there, put your new ignition switch in, replace that Phillips head screw in there, and then everything like before, everything goes in reverse. So we'll slide this back on, and then we'll go through the step process putting back on. Put it in. I got my plastic bushing pressed back in. Again, I'm just going to do everything in reverse. Only thing that I'm going to do differently is I went ahead and put the 6mm Allen bolt back in. I guess you can wait till the last step before you slide this off to take that out, but I took it out earlier. But I put the bushing in, put the 6mm in. Now I'm going to pull it down, put the plastic piece back in, and then tighten the 13mm bolts under the dash. 1 second. I got the 13mm bolts put back in, and then the back 2 tightened back up. Everything's straight, everything's in here, everything's good to go. Replace your ignition switch wire right back here. Go ahead and slide it on, and then we'll go and we'll put our assembly back on the front. Got the assembly back up here, plug my wire back into it. Now we're simply going to pull up on it, get it over the shaft, and then this plastic piece in the back, I can get it to zoom or focus in. Anyway, it's going to slide through the assembly, which will in turn, get it to focus, get it to slide on properly, and then we'll replace our 3 flathead screws. Got my 3 flathead screws back in. The 2 connectors, go ahead and put them back on both sides. Make sure they're pressed firmly, make sure they're on there good. And then we are going to reinstall the plastic piece for the bottom, and then we'll put our 2 Phillips head screws in, and then we'll move on to the steering wheel. Steering wheel's back on, tighten down the nut. Should have a washer behind it. I lined the slots back up where my marks were at. Like, again, not 100% sure it makes a difference, but better safe than sorry. Now we're gonna put our steering wheel cover back on. Remember to connect the wire to the back here, and then pop it back on, and we'll get that done. Then we should be ready to wrap up. All right, we got our steering wheel cover back on. Like I said, make sure you connect that horn wire for the back. Got the ignition put in now. Next, I'll work on the doors, get those changed out. But this is for, again, 1981 Volkswagen Rabbit with the 1.6. Not sure it matters, but this is how you do it for an 81 Rabbit. But there you go. Hope this was helpful. All right, everybody. I hope that helped. Again, I only seen a couple of videos online about how to change the ignition switch on these cars. Just thought I would just add this one in there, and maybe if you're struggling or you're not finding what you're looking for, you'll find your way here to this video, and hopefully it'll be useful for you. So just follow along as I keep doing work to this 81 Rabbit, and like, subscribe, follow along as we go. And again, thanks for watching.